Hello there and welcome to my channel. It's Kate in the Nest and I'm back. And I want to say I hope you are feeling well. I am feeling much better than yesterday. So I want to say thank you to all of you who reached out. And I'm feeling happier because I've just given myself to have a stitchy morning. I watched lots of YouTubes and I've sort of run out. So I'm making this video in case you've run out or need something to watch as you stitch and make. And one of the people that I really enjoy watching is Kate from the last Homely House. And she said something, I was watching an old one of hers, where she said, out of our heads and into our hands. And I think that's what happened to me. Well, it happens to me a lot, but particularly yesterday, I hadn't stitched all day. I was preoccupied and it just got to me a little bit. So we've got this wonderful way of being a community online, and that was just probably a really good reminder, because when we use our hands, it lets our minds reflect. And especially when we get onto gratitude, I'm feeling grateful because Kate was saying that in winter it gets dark at 3:30 for her in November. I think she was filming this. Oh my goodness. So I have a lot to be grateful here. Sunny Australia today. And as I've said many times, this Easter time is traditionally a time of lovely weather and family times. It's also a time of bunnies. And you know I'm a flower girl. But I did work on something the other day and say that I wanted to show you this little bag, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So in the nest, in my zest, I have found it again. And in fact, I took this little bag to the Australian Quilt Show last year. So it's exactly about a year. Now I picked this up ready-made. It already had this mushroom applique or stitching on it. I put a little bit of vintage lace over it because at that stage I just couldn't, it's a big word, but I didn't tolerate that green. Now I'd be much more open to it, and I'll think about that. But the main thing was, if you remember, I was stitching this rabbit and I got these. So I'm thinking Easter rabbits, these are dark rabbits, so they're not all that happy. But I feel much better because I think you may have known I was worrying about the eyes. And I've just gone on here and just put some pen eyes on here. And I feel a lot better about this little bunny. So at the point, have I paused and said, I hope you're well and how you're going, and have a cup of tea, and Kate's voice will just be raving on and on in the background. But I do care and I am grateful for you being there. So at the time that I was making this, I was not able to do many stitches at all. It was all I could do to put this bunny rabbit down and to stitch that in black. Suffice to say, I think I've come quite a long way, as evidenced by my flowers in vases lately. But here, previously, I would have left that untouched. I thought I could probably do some stitching on the mushroom at least, and then I could go back to the bunny, and then we'll see what happens. So look at me, I'm even going to have a look in my nest and see what colour. Oh, there we are. My husband has started to whippersnip, which is beautiful, because he wanted to go gardening. He had work to do this morning, which means he's done that, and that's a sign of him being happy. It's not that loud. No, is that a good... In fact, there's lots of people who are out in their gardens today. All right, so this beautiful little bag, it's lined inside, and look, I've got a spare needle there. So what am I going to do? I'm going to just see if I can remember how to get my hand in here. It's not the easiest stitching, but it's fun stitching. Where do I want to go? Let's warm up. Let's warm up by... Sorry, my hands will be everywhere. I cannot get my camera and my desk position right since I've been away. So I'll just check. Oh, look at that bunny. And so I've got a pansy, got a few little vintage bits around me today. That beautiful pansy plate that I got from Judy of Lavender High Tea on Instagram. Where did we get that? That was an op shop somewhere. I remember buying it. I've got my swan, my crystal swan there with my crochet swans in it. So it's sort of a bird and an animal day, and truly I can't recommend it more highly. So I've been embroidering shirts today, getting ready for my workshop, plural. We're so I mean, I love listening to people and stories, and as you know, I never intended to be a YouTuber, but it is lovely to hear about people's lives and what they're up to. And Kate made me smile because she was talking in this one about her goose called Eileen and how her neighbour had made a fence so that the grandchildren could come and not be frightened of the goose. Now, my parents-in-law have some geese near them, but it's not something that we see a lot of, at least not where I live. So I started off thinking I was going to do stem stitch around the side of the mushroom, but there I've just done a little bit of wild embroidery. This is even more wild because I want to go back. So yeah, not easy now that it's on, but in a way it's a celebration of the fact that at least I'm game enough to have a little go. The other stitch I've been enjoying, which I'm going to change to now, is a little back stitch around the edge. I think the good thing about this is I'm not going through it all now because it's so thick. Do you ever do this? Find a project and go, oh, I could add something onto it now. It's the story of my life because I actually found this pink shirt that I got made when I was looking at my shirts. I got it made in India last year, and I was going to embellish it and put things all over, and I hadn't got to that yet. So it's been a day of inspiration, reminders of old projects, not old, but you know, what do they call them? Projects in progress. I like these bunny rabbits in black and white. I don't know why. Very striking. There we are. There's not, if there was a prize for not one stitch being the same length, I would have won it then, because it's a crazy consistency to be stitching this without access. But look, that's me. Let's see, we've started being wild. Oh. Just thinking, I don't think I've got any red. I've got, well, actually, I have got red there, but I need to do some French knots or something, don't I, on there? I need to look out for a new mini series or something to watch. I want to find the one, I think they're up to season 2. I don't know where they're with the knitters. I don't know what channel that's on, but I would really like to watch that guy. Okay, so this is really skinny yellow. Oh, we'll try little tiny satin stitches beside each other. Not on top, Kate, beside. Because again, I don't know about you, I have to have a particular sort of movie when I'm stitching or making. It can't be too loud. It can't be in another language because I need to look at it. That's why YouTube is so great, isn't it? So I've watched today, you'll know how long I've been stitching. I've watched Dawn and I've watched Rachel and I've watched Christy and Kate. And I even watched Joy to Be journaling, and then I stopped. I think I've actually watched 3 of Kate's because I have this fascination, I've told you before. She just, with the, even with the EPP, which I know is way too delicate for my hands, I'm just fascinated by the way she puts things together. Okay, that's a bit of texture on there. Now let's look at my other bunny. This one, at least I like looking at because he's still got his eyes. This bunny was my fluoro bunny, but the eyes I've drawn on in there. So let's cut this bunny out. My fluoro bunny. Remember, this was just me experimenting with bright colours. And a few people suggested bows and hats and necklaces and baubles, and I like all of those ideas. I had him in a hoop to start with. Too big for on here. I thought would that work on here, but no. Although oh no, here we go. You'll be saying, don't do it, Kate, don't do it. No, I won't do it. I could put it on something else, like a mini make. Where are those ones? I've got a swan. Where am I? I've got my still lifes. Where are those mini makes? Oh, I was going to put it on the Toad of Hope for a hair. Yep. Oh, here we go. Let's make a new one. What have I got here? I've got a bit of something or other that I've pulled undone. It's already orange. Let's put the bunny in a home. Okay, I need some background. A little bit of fabric. This is lovely. I got this off a skirt. I had Julie Jane's on the first poppy trip. Can you see that working? And then could we have a bunny? Of course, that's way too, will need to be cut in. Okay, so why is this all scrunched up? Yeah, this was of a piece that I must have begun on the Country Oppie tour because I remember all those bits. Oh, the swanning. I might put the swan there. Okay, what am I doing? I haven't checked my storage. This is not straight, that's what's worrying me. It's very bunchy uppy. So what's on your list of projects? Probably nothing like what I'm doing right now. Yes, you may think I'm crazy, but it's all part of me learning how to do things. And you may remember that I had this in a hoop, which I never do. I don't use black. But I had to have this fabric. I loved it so much. But what do you do with it when you're a slow stitcher and not a quilter? What would you be doing with it? I think I kept those whiskers on, didn't I? Trying to get a bit of contrast in the garden below him to blend the colours in. What else have I got? No, I rejected the blue. That green is wrong. It's a bit like a cabbage patch. Actually, that could work. Just covered all that up, but this blanket showing there. So, okay, let's see. So I look at this fabric and I remember exactly when and where I got it. Are you like that with your stash? I like to have that green in the corner. Oh, there we are. Think about that, Kate. Sometimes you have to just say it out loud. Okay, that's going to work. So we've got flowers on that side, bunny rabbits sitting there, and now we'll curve this around. We haven't wasted too much with that lovely pink. There we are, Bunny is in the patch. I know lots of people were doing Peter Rabbit for their textile tales. It's been fun for me to try and remember that story. I used to read them to my kids, and okay. How are we going to get Mr. Bunny camouflaged is one of the questions. Probably should just use natural cotton, which probably is not in this nest. Oh, yeah, there he is. It's a bit boring for you to watch, but I think it's important. Otherwise, So this still could go on the Tote of Hope, couldn't it? Because it's a mini make. Could be a pocket. Don't know what I've just done down there, better. That's a fray. So let's just do some tiny tacking. I was actually doing this on another piece in red, and I actually really liked it, and I thought I might start, because I never take it out, I could start doing it in a colour. Can you tell I'm all wrapped up in the stitching, because I've been stitching for all day. I think I started about 8 o'clock this morning, so it is my dream day. We need 2 pairs of scissors. I should keep this other little bunny in mind so I can study how bunnies look. I was thinking then in my head, what was I going to call this video? And I thought, is there a saying off with the bunnies? But no, it's off with the fairies, isn't it? Shows how out of touch I am with all things rabbits and bunnies. What's that under there? There's another pin under there, which I better not. The hidden pin. Okay, now I've been fighting there, but that's because I'm going through all the layers. So there's about 3 and the blanket then, but that means that's all nicely tucked down. There we are. I really need to do something about these eyes. I won't make them yellow. Okay, let's concentrate on flowers and making him be amongst. Got orange up here, orange on him. So I'm going to come in close and stitch the flower and the side of the bunny at the same time. I'm try and camouflage that edging. Yep. I don't know what that little white thing's for, but there we go. I'll change the shape of the flower and sort of follow it in a petal shape. And these flowers are going, these colours. It's my variegated wool. Been doing lots of petals and flowers today, so this is making me feel very happy. Colouring in. Okay. What do we want to do now? Let's go on a little meander. Around some of these petals. Back to the bunny. Will we do another wonder? I think so. Nothing to lose, because we didn't even plan to make this. Well, I didn't. So maybe you've got a little piece of something that you made and it never made it to where you intended. Might be a doily that you wanted to put on a bigger work. Okay, that flower seems to be being quite close to Bunny's ear, so let's sort of join on. And then run this down the edge. I didn't mind that at all, you know. A piece of my first mini make with a rabbit. Why didn't I think of that before? All right, what does a bunny need? A beautiful bright tail, do you think? What's the brightest thing I've got? Orange. Got that lovely apricot. Oh yes, this was the closest I could get at the store before I went away in terms of fluoro. I nearly had to ask you where it was. I'm wondering about some French knots. What will we do too? I'm so used to doing 3, so we'll do 3. That's 4, so we have to have 5. Does it look like a tail? No. But was it fun? Yes. Just sort of, there's a bit of highlighting here, so I thought I'd just do it in the orange as well, and then that will lead nicely to working this flower underneath. I really want to resolve those eyes. Have I got black? Only skinny. Look, it might be still a tail. Yeah, look how long I've been playing with you. But there you are. There was a little bit of Easter fun with the theme of bunny rabbits. And not done, but in a way I don't want to, because I'm learning with this piece. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please take care, and I'll see you again soon in the nest. Bye.